The first step to reliable emergency communication isn't the radio, it's the data. Whether you're a seasoned operator or just unboxing your first handheld, having the right frequencies and reference guides is critical when it matters most.
I radio into the repeater, and everybody all over can hear me.
In this 4-part series, we are stripping away the complexity and breaking the programming process down into 4 straightforward steps. In part 1, we're starting at the source. Before you ever plug in a cable, you need to decide which frequencies to listen to and how to find them. I'll show you exactly how to navigate the best tools in the industry to build a rock-solid frequency list. Once you learn this skill, you can apply this process for when traveling and build custom frequency lists for a variety of applications. In this part 1 video, we will cover, first, Chirp stock configurations, the hidden goldmine already inside the Chirp software. Secondly, we'll cover RepeaterBook and how to query local repeaters by location and distance. Thirdly, we'll explore radioreference.com to find all of the repeaters in your area. And finally, the 4th resource that we will use is mygmrs.com, which is the go-to source for GMRS operators. I hope you enjoy the video. All right, y'all, let's start programming our radio. First thing we're going to want to do is go into Chirp, and we've got a new file. So now let's start pulling in the stock configurations in Chirp. So if we go to the File menu and we drop on down to the stock configurations, we've got all of these different options. Personally, whether I've got a GMRS radio or I've got a ham radio, I'm always going to go for the US NOAA weather alert. And here we go. We click on that and look, it's already generated for us all of the different US NOAA weather alert channels. The next one we're going to want to do is go File, Open Stock Configuration, and then if you live near an area where there's marine channels, click on that. Boom, it's going to create a separate tab, which you're going to save in a minute for a separate file. And here we've got the marine channels. Now notice here are the channel numbers, which is going to be important later on when we start actually programming our radio and organizing these frequencies. We've got the frequency, we've got the name, and then over here, we've got a comment. And this is going to be important later also when we begin to program our radio. So then let's do another one. File, Open Stock Configuration, US MURS channels. Boom. There we go. And these are ones that you can monitor on your GMRS radio as well as your ham radio. Let's do another one. File, Open Stock Configuration, and now let's pick out maybe the US calling frequencies. This is another one that you're going to want for your GMRS radio, and obviously you can talk on this if you have your ham radio license. My buddy Josh and I, KI5LQM, will practice between our 2 towns communicating on these frequencies. So now I've got all these different tabs, right? All right, let's do one more. File, Open Stock Configuration, and hey, let's say you live in an area where there's railroads. Boom, I've got all the railroads. And if you want to change the name to this, let's say later on down the line when I show you how to program the radio and how to test the radio in part 4, let me just show you this really quick. Let's say I've been going through my community, monitoring the different railroad bands, and boom, number 71. I can consistently hear railroad traffic. What I generally do is I'll put a little asterisk here and hit the enter button. And now I know, because of this asterisk, I can traditionally hear what's going on that frequency. But let's go ahead and change it back. So then we've got all these now, right? Now what you're going to want to do is do your data management. So let's just go here. We're going to go File, Save As, and I've got a file folder already set up for the video tutorial. And then boom, hit save. And let's just close. Well, let's just close it up right now. Let's go to Marine Channels, File, Save As. And here it is, US Marine Channels. And hit save. Boom, it's going to save it. Let's close that one up. Let's just close up this empty one here. All right, our Mirrors channel, File, Save As. And now we're going to save this one. So now we're archiving all of these different frequencies. And later in part 2 of this video series, I'm going to teach you how to organize them. US calling frequency, save as. Boom, let's save it. And then close that up. And then railroad frequency, save as. All right, boom. So now we've got all of these different types. I think of them topically, right? We've got US calling frequencies. We've got marine channels, mirrors, US NOAA weather alert. It looks like I didn't save the. It looks like I didn't save the one with the standard calling frequency. So let's do it again. Let's go open stock configurations, US calling frequencies. There it is. File, save as. Oh, it looks like I did. Okay. So now that's one way you can access information to program into your radio. Let's go to another one. We can do radio query source. So the first way we did it was file, and then we dropped down to open stock configurations. The other way we can access different frequencies is under the radio tab. Under the radio tab, query source, RepeaterBook. Boom. Now, if I want to pull all of the different frequencies that are GMRS in Texas, see, you've got United States, there's your country, and then I'm going to click on, you can either have amateur, okay, or GMRS. Let's say you want to program your GMRS radio. Click on GMRS. I'm going to hit OK. Look at that. It is now loaded for me all of the GMRS frequencies in the state of Texas. Let's go ahead and save that. So we'll go File. Oh, it's not going to let me save it. So what I got to do is I got to click on this. On my keyboard, it's hold down the Shift key. And I'm going to click on all of them. And I'm going to go Edit, Copy. Because notice, let me show you. It's not letting me save it. So now I'm going to go File, New, and I'm going to, let me just right click on that and go delete this memory. That just drives me crazy. And now I'm going to go Edit, Paste. Boom. There are my frequencies. Right here, theoretically, you should be able to click and drag. Oh, there it is. Okay, so now I'm opening it up and I can see the location. So you may want to sort this for your area, which is what I would recommend you do, right? Because if you don't live in the Dallas area, why do you need the Dallas GMRS frequencies unless you're planning to travel to Dallas? So probably what I would do is I would go through here and I'd be like, okay, let's look for some, like let's say here, we've got Bexar County, right? There's Bexar County. So I would cut. So you can go here, Edit, Cut. And then I would go File, New, and then I would paste it. And then I'd go, okay, these are all of my Bexar County frequencies. All right, there's Bexar County. Let's go back to this one over here. Now remember, what I should have done before I did that, quite frankly, was to go File. Let me just undo this. I don't know if I can undo on this particular program. Oh, you can. So probably what you should do is go File, Save As, and then call it Texas GMRS frequencies, and I would probably call it master file. Okay, so now I've saved that. So now I've got my master file. So now I could start messing with this, and I could be like, okay, there's the Bexar County one, and let me click on that. Let me edit, cut, and then let me paste it over here in the Bexar County, and then I'll go File, Save As, and I may call this San Antonio area. So now I'm going to start to organize this block of frequencies topically, or actually spatially, by area. So I would probably just painstakingly, this is what I've done in the past. Oh, here's one in the Austin area. So I would go, I'd take it, highlight it, I'd go Edit, Cut. I would create a new one. I would paste it here, and I would go, and then you could actually move this over so you can see the comment, File, Save As, and then I would say Austin, GMRS. Let me move this, Austin, GMRS frequencies. And I try to be really consistent. So where I say San Antonio area, I would probably go back into that directory and rename it San Antonio GMRS frequencies. All right. So that way I know, oh yeah, these are my San Antonio frequencies that are GMRS versus San Antonio UHF VHF frequencies. So data management is king in this process. So when I go to I guess it's part 2 of this video series, I'll have that cleaned up. So let's go back here. So we could literally just kind of go through look, here's some Dallas ones. In my brain, this is all like the Dallas area. To the Dallas people, this may not be. You may break it down to Mesquite, Frisco. I'm going to cut it. And I just did a keyboard shortcut. I'm going to hit New. I'm going to click, and then I'm going to paste that. And I'm going to go File, Save As, and I could see what I'm calling them. So I have Texas GMRS frequencies, Austin GMRS frequencies. Let's call this Dallas area GMRS frequencies. And once again, where I have San Antonio, I'm going to insert GMRS frequencies. So they're all kind of the same file name in terms of data management. Hit save. So that's what I do. And then I would kind of start going through here and then I would organize them. Now, something else you can do, let's just close all of this up, let's just close all of this up. Okay. File, New. And let's go Radio, Query Source, and let's go RepeaterBook. And now let's switch it over to amateur radio. And you can pick your state. All right. And you can be very specific if we only want certain bands. So maybe you want the 10 meter band, but you probably would want like the 70 centimeter band and then the 2 meter band for stock, pretty much standard ham radios. Okay, I'm going to click on that. And then I've got amateur in Texas. And I'm going to hit OK. And now, boom, here we go. We've got all of the different ham radio frequencies for 2 meters and 70 centimeters. Some people will organize this 2 meters and 70 centimeters. I tend to organize them topically, and I don't really care. I want 2 meters and 70 centimeter together. So then I would go, okay, same thing. I'd go, okay, I'm going to go visiting a friend of mine in Dallas. So I'll highlight this one. I'll go edit. Let me see. Once again, you can't save it once you've imported it from RepeaterBook. So now I'm going to have to grab this, and then I'm going to hold down my shift key on my keyboard. It may be different for yours. And then I'm going to scroll all the way down. And then, 1,300 frequencies. Edit, copy. And then I'll go File, New. And then let's just go ahead and paste them in there. Now we're going to save them. Some of this memories, it says it's not compatible with my radio. I don't know if it's pulling it from the last radio that I programmed. So anyway, we're going to go File, Save As. And now here, remember we had Texas GMRS frequencies file. Let's call this Texas UHF VHF frequencies file. So what we're doing in part 1 of this video is we are just gathering the data, and then we're going to start organizing this in a variety of different ways. You've got different options in part 2 of this series. And now let's save it. So once again, I would start to do the same thing. Now you may just want to load this in your radio, but I want it organized by area of Texas. So if I'm traveling, I'm going to have a Dallas set of frequencies, maybe San Antonio set of frequencies, and then it's the same principle. So look, here are, let's see, I saw Austin a minute ago somewhere here. Well, so like I'm in Central Texas, right? So I may pick Seguin. So I'll go edit, because now I've already saved this. This is my master file. So I'm going to go edit, cut, file new, and then I'm going to go edit, paste, and then I may call this file save as Central Texas UHF VHF frequencies. And then I may have a different one where I'm focusing just on the San Antonio area because there's so many. Even though San Antonio is in Central Texas, in my brain, this Blanco County This one here would go with the Central Texas because it's not like a big city. I tend to organize big city frequencies together. So Austin area, San Antonio area, Dallas area. You may drill it down if you're in Tarrant County or Frisco area, but in my brain, that's just the Dallas area. So, and then of course I would, just save it. So now I've created all of these different frequencies, right? I've had my GMRS frequencies and my UHF VHF frequencies. I've got a big master file, and now I'm starting to kind of drill it down. This is a lot of data management, so you kind of want to back it up as you go. The third option for finding your frequencies is RepeaterBook. And I'm going to show you where to find it, and then I'm going to show you an example of how it pulls the data. And so you're going to go radio, query source, radio reference. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a clip from a class that I taught, where I taught students how to pull that data. And I'm just going to quickly show you what it's going to look like, but it's very similar as to the RepeaterBook.
You're going to get independent school districts, fire department, law enforcement, public safety, Boston International Airport, businesses, hospitals. This is all emergency from here. It looks to here. Like in my brain, that's all emergency. These are a bunch of schools. So what I'm going to do is I would probably save this file as a master file, and then I would go copy. I would open up a new file, and I would go paste. And so now I know this is my file with all my emergency frequencies.
Now with radio reference, it's a paid subscription. So when you go in here, you're going to put your username and password, and it will automatically pull that data for you in Chirp. I would highly recommend getting a subscription to radio reference. There are tons of frequencies that you're not going to get in RepeaterBook. RepeaterBook tends to focus on ham radio frequencies that you can talk to with other hams. The radio reference under radio query source, radio reference tends to give you frequencies for monitoring emergency communication, like fire, EMS, municipal services, local businesses. Radio reference is a goldmine of frequencies that will allow you to monitor in emergency communication situations. The final resource in this first video of our 4-part series is My GMRS. And this is a website you're going to need to register for. And in order to register for My GMRS, you need your GMRS license. I have found this website critical to obtaining GMRS repeater information. So on the website, they've got the forums, and in this forum, you can ask questions if you're having problems programming your radio. There's the repeaters. Now, these are just some of the ones you can see in the public view of the website, but you can really drill it down to your local repeaters in your area. And then, quite frankly, you can also sort it by different frequencies as well. There's the map. And here you can just kind of scroll into any part of the country if you're traveling in your specific area. And then you can kind of see, oh, let's take a look at this repeater. And then you can view details here. And some of them, so here, sign into view. So this one is probably public, and I would be able to see the input tone. Some of them you have to contact the owner of the repeater to get permission to sign in, so you're going to need the tones. Great resource for getting access for information for GMRS frequencies and program your GMRS radio.